Balance the whole vibrations. Welcome back to another episode of Well Versed and Reserved. Today is September 12th. It's a Tuesday here in Portland, Oregon. It's a beautiful day. The air is bright. The sun's beaming. I'm basking in its brilliance and its intelligence. I can't complain, really. And there's been some topics on my mind that I would like to discuss. Mainly, I would like to discuss dreams. I want to talk about the timescape of dreams, the dreamscape, the essence of a dream, and what potentially it could symbolize. So, we've spoken together in other episodes on light, bodies, and the mind, and how we have a multi-dimensional function as humans, and how as humans we are not only an animalistic or material species, which is predominantly our existence, which we seem to get stuck on the actuality or the experience of being in this material form and breathing, eating, and surviving, doing these things that makes us feel alive. And as humans, we naturally are encoded not to suffer. And everything that subconsciously we do is based on that desire to not suffer. And we all have this desire within ourselves. And that is our program as humans. And it was encoded in us at a young age. And it was encoded in us through pain. And through pain, we find that growth or that knowledge of how we desire not to suffer. Unless we find a desire in pain or we find a desire in suffering, then we seek to achieve that. But as humans, we have this propensity to desire things, to pursue and achieve certain sensations that make us feel alive, that make us feel complete, that makes us feel whole. Now, that is a power of the mind. And within this power of the mind that we experience in 3D reality, we have that sensation of pain and whatnot. Now, pain doesn't have to be external, it doesn't have to be physical, something inflicted on us. It can be internalized pain as well, of emotions and traumas and things like that. Now, internalized pains are the product of our desire not to suffer, and is the product of our subconscious tendencies of why we act the way that we do, why we're so egotistic, why we're so depressive, why we're so either neurotic or, as they say, a personality disorder, of why we have the personal miseries we do or the personal blemishes we do that make us imperfect or just make us flawed and capable of either being dealt with or capable of dealing with ourselves, or both. Now, having these internal miseries or these internal codings of where we don't want to suffer is birthed or incubated through the traumas given to us as children. So deep down within every one of us, there's the little child of you and I that is constantly reincarnated, that's constantly is recycled in our daily lives by some tendency, unless we have complete awareness of that person or that experience. Can't really say person, we can personify it, call it a person, but that experience that does not leave us, that experience shapes our daily life. Now, with that thought, right, that thought energy, which now has become subconscious, which has become a shadow being of ourselves, that shadow being of ourselves is not the ruler of ourselves. It's the complacency of ourselves. It's the autopilot. It's the survival mode of ourselves. And it speaks and externalizes by our perpetuated action based on these qualities and habits. Now, habitually, if our shadow self is displayed on a daily basis to project a pain, a pastime pain, we must ask ourselves, where is the root of this pain? How could I access this pastime? And how is it possible that something so far ago continues to actuate in time and space of now when it's no longer? Why is it that these memories haunt our volition? Or is it truly haunting our volition and it's merely haunting our capability, our choice? Now, consciousness is something objective. Consciousness is willpower. Subconsciousness is emotions, is memories, is the subjectivity of being conscious. Now, they do coincide in a very, very meticulous way. And that mendable actions that they have, that blending, is something that we experience in the dreamscape. In the dreamscape, you experience both your conscious and your subconscious self as a whole. Now, when you're awake, you do experience yourself as a conscious and subconscious person as a whole, although your subconscious is constantly on autopilot, as it can be referred or seen or symbolized as your traveling light body. Your traveling self, your memory self, your thought self is constantly in a state of that travel, constantly working. Now, within the dream realm, you're within that subconscious body, no longer in the physical body. You're in that traveling self, but you have consciousness. And that's what they call lucid dreaming. Nah, lucid dreaming doesn't mean that you have complete, full control over your dream experience. Lucid dreaming merely means is that you are fully aware that you are dreaming and that you are in a dream world and that you are no longer a part of your bodily self. So to be conscious in your dream is to be conscious of eternity, because the definition of eternity is anything that is immeasurable, anything that is immensely beyond, no time, existence. So when you're in a state of immeasurable experience, when you can do things that are immeasurable to 3D reality, where you can fly, you can quantum leap, you can do all these things as a dream self, you are in the state of eternity. And that is the key to experiencing your shadow self, that inner pains and those inner traumas, is to experience yourself in your dream realm. Through experiencing self in the dream realm and being conscious of it, you're able to arouse the hidden meanings. You're able to arouse the traumas that are now personified or embodied in different avatars and different configurations that represent what you are dealing with. Every dream has a representation of your subconscious shadow self. And your subconscious shadow self travels so much farther in time that you do receive premonitions, that you do receive contact with other shadow cells and light beings or light consciousness that have been on this earth before, that are not here, or that may come back. That is the amazement of dreams. Now, when in the dream realm and you are experiencing the dreamscape and things that look familiar due to your actual material experience, is only due to the fact that what you see and experience here is collectively your knowledge of the universe as a whole. Now, your memories have been severed from other incarnations and life experiences. However, that doesn't determine that this here is your only experience. This is the only experience within your conscious control. And that itself should be proven through the realization of instantiated knowledge, meaning that before we were here, there was already integrated knowledge. There was already instilled information within the fabric of life, within the molecules, within gravity holding everything in place, within the creative force of love that made all of this possible. There was already an intelligence that existed before our existence. Our existence didn't create our mere observation didn't create this. Our soul was only an emanation of the oversoul. The oversoul being that collective intelligence that's always existed. Therefore, as we grow as human beings, we begin to learn and we begin to become familiar with this oversoul that we are only a reflection of. And that itself, understanding that, realizes that there are things that we do not remember, but we will come to remember. Now, that is what we will experience through our dreams, through being in that eternal space of immeasurable experience. Things that defy physics happen in that dream, the immeasurable experience. Now, we're understanding that the instantiated knowledge that lives in the universe that is so far beyond us, understanding that one key component is that we are infinite, that there is a knowledge so far beyond us that we can access through our dreams, that we can access through our energetic beings, our light bodies, through the dream realm. And we are always infinite. And soon, next episode, I will discuss circular and linear time and the possibility of that, and how science is very close to breaking that and actually knowing what happens when we die based on the measurements of the aftermath of the thermodynamics of the Big Bang in chaos calming, in the constant expansion of time and space, and whether it bends or if it's linear. Now, based on that, that is where we ask ourselves, in our dream selves. How is it? As our dream selves, are you aware that you're dreaming? When you're in a dream, do you realize that that's a dream? When you are in waking life, do you have deja vus? Are your deja vus merely remembrances of your dreams? Me personally, all of my deja vus that I experience are remembrances of dreams. I recollect, and I have a daydream within itself. I have a flash of not a premonition, but a vision of remembering vision of being in this place, but in the dreamscape and remembering what happened. It happens to me a lot, very often. So those are things to take into account and to ruminate upon. Now, if you have trouble remembering your dreams, then the best thing for you to do is to learn how to breathe. Learn how to breathe through your nose and out your mouth. And basically, by doing that simple survival method, breathing in your nose and out your mouth, you are able to detach your consciousness from the chatter of your mind. And when you're able to use detachment within while before going to sleep, you're able to concentrate your consciousness into where you will be next, which will be the dream realm, and you will begin to experience your dreams more often. And the more often you experience your dreams, the more lucid you become. Now, going back to the power of the mind and your subconscious self. Now, that state that you're in, that we're in when we sleep, yes, is predominantly your sub-self, your spiritual self, which surrounds us at all times, and it travels at all times, and is that you can be thought of as the angel on the ear that calls, or the devil on the ear that calls for us to do certain things. Now, that is the experience of itself. Now, the submind and the conscious mind is truly that. And it can call to us. It has those internal callings, but it does not rule over us. Our volition, our conscious power in our observation is what rules us. We can change all of our tendencies. We can change all of our habits based on that, realizing that those aspects of ourselves are merely callings, sort of like omens, and we follow them. And sometimes we are put on autopilot, and it is automized to where that we follow them automatically, but we don't have to follow them. So based on that, that is an insight that maybe we should, perhaps you should, take, internalize, and start really thinking of, damn, is my thought something that is calling to me? Why do I have to act off of every thought or every emotion? Why can't I consciously ruminate? Why can't I consciously distinguish or consciously decipher what it is that is coming to me before it comes? Because we can be infiltrated subconsciously, and there are things and there are traumas that have created a complacency within us that constantly wants to be relived and revised. But through incessant questioning and incessant training and discipline, rather than being the follower of your own thoughts, be the leader, be the conscious leader of your own thoughts. And simply doing that will give you a greater gnosis of who ourselves are. And that is one of the key principles and one of the key purposes of being here on this planet, is to learn ourselves, learn why we do the things we do, how we do the things we do. Why is it we were born at this time? Why is it that we do the things that we do? And greatly understanding that. And we do that simply by asking questions and by not being the follower of ourselves, but the leader of ourselves. Now, I will leave it off at that. This will be a short episode. It's such a blessing to be here. It's such a blessing to be alive, to experience the sun, to experience this light, to experience this consciousness. I can't complain. Beyond blessed. Life is amazing. And I love all y'all. I hope that y'all stay whole and y'all stay balanced through all of this, through all this madness, through all this selfishness that exists out here. Because it is real, and the person that truly has your back is yourself. And even yourself, even your shadow self, has the tendency to go against you. So be the leader of yourself. Control your shadow self. Make sure that nobody breaks your aura, that nobody compromises your light being, and you exchange your energies with those who are consciously compatible or who are consciously expandable with you. Do not give your energy and do not give your love and light to something that goes against you, because if you do that, then you're going against yourself and you're not loving yourself. And to love somebody is to love yourself. So y'all keep it supplemental, as above, so below, as within, so without, as in the universe is so in the soul. Keep your mantras up, y'all. In a minute.